All right, this is Jackie. I'm here with Lauren of Sharptooth, and we are doing public domain songs. Are you ready for it? I don't think you are.
So I chose this song because it's a tale of perseverance in the face of tumultuous struggle, and I also really like spiders. So I guess this is the Sharptooth version of the Itsy Bitsy Spider. I didn't practice this, so this is gonna be garbage. Oh no! Oh my god! The Itsy Bitsy Spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the Itsy Bitsy Spider crawled up the spout again.
I mean, if that doesn't teach you to get your ass in gear and
really?
climb back up out of the gutter,
Fuck back up that spout.
there we go. So, from New Jersey to Maryland to YouTube, here we go, Sharptooth. As I mentioned to you off camera, I spoke to a buddy of Senses Fail before who said that he just really loved that you never have a fear of speaking your mind. And I think that that's an essential quality that comes out of, like, I don't know, the Northeast or something. But what do you attribute it to?
My whole dad's side of the family is from Queens, so
That helps.
yeah. So I was raised by a bunch of loudmouth New Yorkers, and yeah, my mom is the type of woman who you don't. My mom doesn't really do. Oh, that's not going to work out. She's a go-getter. So yeah, my parents, I think, and yeah, my parents, and being part of a music community that takes no shit.
So what are some things that you've been speaking out against recently that might ruffle some feathers, but not that you really care?
So it's interesting because I don't think that anything that we talk about is particularly controversial. I literally think the most controversial, like, song that we have is "Fuck You, Donald Trump," and it's really not even so much a song about him, but just about corporate greed and politics, and that these people buy each other's seats and basically pass money around in between each other and don't care about the actual people. And I don't find it particularly controversial to have a problem with that. But for the most part, pretty much every day on stage at Warped Tour, we talk about sexual violence, listening to survivors, talking to your peers and your partners about consent, and just how we can all do a better job at that to make the world a better place for everybody. We also talk about mental illness, and we talk...
Wait, making the world a better place.
I don't think that's controversial. Don't rape people. Like, I don't think that's a controversial viewpoint. Like, do better.
Cut it out.
Yeah, and same with, like, we talk about mental illness and about ending stigma surrounding a lot of, like, the more or less, like, controversial, like, heavily stigmatized mental illnesses, like schizophrenia and Tourette's, bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, addictions. These, I think, are still poorly understood by the general public, and so they're still heavily stigmatized when people bring them up. People have preconceived notions about what it means to have one of these mental illnesses, or what somebody with them is, how they're going to behave, and it makes people afraid to ask for help. So then, like, frankly, people die when they can't get help. People kill themselves, people overdose. It's like, there's a lot of destructive habits that come with these mental illnesses, and a lot of times people take their illness out on themselves. So, yeah, I don't think that's particularly controversial either. Let's do better for people with mental illnesses.
But it makes me wonder if that's part of the problem, is that we try to say, hey, it's not that big of a deal, or hey, let's try to demystify it, and then people are like, jumping down your throat for saying, hey, let's be kinder and more understanding of people. And
Which,
people are saying, no.
Like, not be kinder, have empathy, work to understand each other. Like, not controversial at all. And, like, one of the last things that I always talk about during our sets is how I think that we all have a responsibility to help elevate marginalized voices, regardless of, like, what somebody looks like or, like, their background. Each of us can all do better as allies to help each other and to help listen to other people. And yeah, again, I don't think that listening to other people is a particularly controversial view. And It's so funny because I tell people, I'm like, even if you hate every word that has come out of my mouth, come and talk to me about it. Like, I'm a very reasonable person. I know I seem scary on stage because I'm like all like hulked out, but yeah, no, I've had amazing discussions in like person to person for people who share different viewpoints of me, like who are of like a different religion than me or are like different views politically than me. And we've all been able to come to the common ground that we're all just human beings trying our best. And I think that if that's what we boil things down to in today's society, we're going to make the world a better place. So that's what Sharptooth's about. Just be nice. Treat people with empathy and kindness.
Rock out and be nice, damn it. It's really not that hard.
Exactly.
But do you think that there's something with either the political climate or the use/misuse of social media that's kind of creating this reaction to things?
Oh, sure, because it's very easy to dehumanize people over social media. And, yeah, it's easy to forget that the person on the other side of the screen is a person with feelings and, like, with hopes and dreams and ambitions. And it's, like, even the people who say, like, horrible, terrible things, like, misogynist things about me because I'm a woman, like, that's still a person. And it makes me wonder, I'm like, okay, so what's going on in that person's head that makes them feel this way about me? And I also think that there's a huge difference between being ignorant and being hateful. And when you can find the people who are just ignorant but who are open to listening, I think that it's so important to engage with them. If somebody's just going to be hateful for the sake of being hateful, I don't know that there's a lot I can do to reach out to that, except for say, I'm sorry you feel this way, and I hope your life
Try
gets
not to.
better. Yeah, like,
Could you cut it out? That'd be great.
yeah, like, can you, like, don't take it out on other people.
Is there a platform, a social media platform that you tend to gravitate towards to either respond or to not respond?
I mean, like, I pretty much don't read anything on Facebook, unless that's, like, on my personal page. Actually, this was hilarious. Some guy, like, made a comment on one of my friends' pages. The only reason I read it was because it was on my friend's page, and I happened to get tagged in the thread. You described us as edgy, extremist, like, cringe feminism. And I got on there, and I was like, hi, sup, I'm the person you're talking about. Would you like to explain your comments? And watching them backpedal, like, into oblivion was, like, one of my favorite things. They were like, well, actually, it was funny because they didn't even say the things you had to say. They said the things Lauren had to say on stage. I'm like, I'm right here. You can just address me. Like, you don't need to talk about me in the third person. They were like, well, actually, I really liked the things that Lauren had to say. I'm like, well, by joking and saying that we're like an extremist or cringe band, you are actually devaluing a lot of the things that I'm trying to do, and you're making it harder for people to want to come and listen to it and get something from what we're trying to do here. Because I consider Sharptooth to be 50% band, 50% activism. So even if you don't like the music, maybe just shut your mouth, because we're out here trying to do something important, and I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your life, but
Those little keyboard warriors.
yeah. It's like, and it was absolutely hilarious because they like were like, oh, I didn't expect you to like actually be on this thread. I'm like, I'm a person, and I'm like, it's an off day on Warped Tour, don't at me. Like, I'll come for you, I'm bored. Like, so
Some people are washing clothes, some people are going to water parks, you're responding to trolls.
yeah, so, which I never do. It was literally this one time, but like watching them backpedal, and like they clearly felt terrible, which, like, good. You should.
That's progress.
You should feel bad. And I was also like, just so you know, like, this industry is very small. A lot of us know each other, and we take care of each other. So if you got a problem with us, you got a problem with us. So hope you're not trying to book any shows in the Baltimore area anytime soon, because, sorry.
Same.
We fight for our own, and it's like, if you're going around talking shit, people are gonna be like, fuck this guy, he just runs his mouth about shit. So
I think those versions of social media are definitely sort of kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? They're going downhill fast, and hopefully we will find something next that is better. And one aspect or one social media tool that is at least seemingly more positive and more helpful would be Spotify. If That's not necessarily social media, but I'm calling it that because you share playlists and you share songs. Sure. What role do you see music streaming sites having as a member of a band?
I mean, I think that's like the future of how people are going to get their media is through streaming sites. I mean, it's the same with TV now through like streaming on Netflix and like Hulu and like Roku and that kind of stuff. Yeah, that seems like just the natural evolution of things. It would be cool if there was a way to be able to compensate artists better for like the stuff that's like their plays on there. But like, again, I feel like all of this everything's constantly changing and evolving and no one's figured it out yet. So just kind of rolling with it.
Damn it, Napster.
I know, right?
Would you rather have Spotify success or radio airplay?
We'll never be on the radio. We will never be on the radio. Oh man,
we're trying, man.
We'll never be on the radio. It's fine. We're a really heavy band. We are not particularly commercial in any sense. And that's fine. That's not, I'm in a hardcore band. No hardcore band is like, whoop, can't wait to get those radio plays. I know that, like, yeah, that's just not a thing. So definitely Spotify. And it's great because Spotify also connects you with bands that, like, are, like, related artists. So, like, people can find, like, other stuff they like. I love that feature, so.
It's social media.
Spotify, but just, like, it's.
I don't either. So what's up next for you after Warped Tour?
We're going to be going back out in the fall. We're going to be full U.S. And then I think we're doing another full U.S. in the winter, potentially. We're working on a second record. We have a lot going on. I'm like, are we going to have time for all of this? I hope so.
Yes, you will, because you're a spider that perseveres.
Exactly.
It's full circle, motherfucker.
Right.
And this is Jackie, and I'm here with Lauren with Sharptooth. Thanks to Chorus FM and In the Key of Change.